someone has done it and trained to try to knock someone out,
Right.
you're not thinking about, we're never throwing punches at your skull.
Right.
You know, we're aiming for these targets that are soft.
Ever wonder how MMA transformed from a brutal brawl to the regulated sport that it is today? We'll count down 10 crazy moments that forced MMA to evolve from shocking injuries to rule-breaking brawls. Number 10, the shift in weight cutting rules. In December 2015, the combat sports community faced a critical moment when it became clear that the practice of extreme weight cutting was endangering fighters. Athletes were engaging in severe dehydration to meet weight class limits, which could lead to serious health issues. This process often involved sweating out water weight in saunas or through intense exercise, sometimes just hours before a fight. The risks included not only impaired performance due to dehydration, but also long-term health consequences and even death. Recognizing the dangers, regulatory bodies stepped in to implement changes. These changes aimed to discourage drastic weight loss before bouts and encourage fighters to compete closer to their natural weight. Number 9, banning groin shots in MMA. In the early days of mixed martial arts, the rules weren't as strict as they are today. A notable example of this was during the International Veiled Judo Championship 1 and UFC 4, where fighter Gary Goodridge's actions led to significant rule changes. During IVC 1, Goodridge faced Pedro Otavio, and the match became infamous for its brutality. The IVC rules allowed groin shots, and Goodridge took advantage of this by delivering multiple low blows. In one instance, he even used his toes to squeeze Octavio's testicles, which was within the rules at the time. This incident, along with other similar occurrences, sparked a debate about the safety and sportsmanship in MMA. There was a growing concern that such moves could cause serious injury and weren't in the spirit of fair competition. As a result, political pressure mounted and safety concerns grew, leading to the banning of groin shots in the sport. This change was part of a broader movement to standardize rules across MMA, making it safer and more respectable as a sport. Number 8, the introduction of judges. At UFC 7, the match between Ken Shamrock and Oleg Taktarov ended in a draw after 33 minutes of fighting, which left fans and fighters alike feeling unsatisfied. This outcome highlighted the need for a more decisive way to determine a winner when a fight went the distance without a clear victor. As a result, the UFC introduced judges into the mix. The role of these judges is to score the fight round by round based on criteria such as effective striking, grappling, aggression, and control of the fighting area. How did the introduction of judges impact the UFC? Well, the introduction of judges aimed to eliminate the possibility of a draw, ensuring that every fight had a definitive winner and loser. Number 7, the evolution of women's MMA. The inclusion of women's MMA by the UFC in 2010 marked a significant turning point for the sport. It showcased the evolving recognition of MMA as a competitive platform for women, affirming the capability to perform at the highest echelons of the sport. Initially, UFC president Dana White was skeptical, doubting that women would ever fight in the octagon, not due to prejudice but because of the stark talent disparities leading to mismatches at the time. However, the emergence of Ronda Rousey, an Olympic judo medalist, changed his perspective. Rousey's prowess and charisma both in and out of the ring made her an exceptional figure in MMA. Number 6, the cage toss incident. At the Ultimate 1996 event, a startling incident occurred that would lead to a significant rule change in the sport of MMA. Tank Abbott, a fighter known for his aggressive style, attempted something unprecedented. He tried to throw his opponent, Cal Warsham, over the top of the cage. This dangerous move was immediately met with disqualification, and it brought to light serious safety concerns regarding the design of the fighting enclosure. Referee Big John McCarthy's intervention was crucial. He recognized the potential for severe injury if fighters were allowed to engage in such actions. The incident prompted a re-evaluation of the rules and the physical structure of the cage to prevent similar occurrences in the future. Number 5, open-handed strikes. In 2016, the Nevada State Athletic Commission introduced a rule allowing fighters to use open-handed strikes as a defense against ground-pound attacks. This pivotal change was made to address safety concerns, particularly the risk of eye gouges, which can occur during the heat of a ground exchange. Before this rule, fighters primarily used closed fists, which limited their defense options and inadvertently increased the risk of eye injuries. Number 4. The dawn of TKO in UFC. In the nascent stages of the UFC, the concept of a technical knockout wasn't yet established. The first 2 UFC events unfolded without the option for referee stoppages due to strikes, which meant fights often continued until a clear submission or knockout occurred. This lack of regulation posed risks as fighters could sustain unnecessary damage if they weren't halted at an appropriate time. Recognizing this issue, referee Big John McCarthy, a pivotal figure in the sport's development, advocated for the introduction of TKOs to protect the athletes, even if they hadn't been knocked out cold. This change was crucial for fighter safety as it prevented prolonged beatings that could lead to serious injuries. It also introduced a new strategic element to the sport, as fighters now had to be mindful of defending intelligently to avoid a stoppage. Number 3. Legalization of MMA. For years, MMA was banned in the state, but after much debate and consideration, New York State Assembly voted to lift this prohibition. This decision wasn't taken lightly. It followed intense discussions about the sport's safety, economic benefits, and its place in modern athletics. The bill passed with a significant majority, signaling a shift in perception towards MMA. With the ban lifted, New York became the 50th state to legalize MMA, opening the doors for the UFC and other promotions to host events in the state. This was a huge win for the sports fans and athletes, as New York is a major media market and a hub for sports entertainment. The first major event was scheduled at the iconic Madison Square Garden, a venue synonymous with historic sporting moments. Number 2. The ban on knee strikes. In 2013, the UFC took a major step to enhance fighter safety by banning knee strikes to the head of a grounded opponent. This rule change was a response to the severe injuries that could result from such strikes. A grounded opponent is defined as a fighter who has more than just the soles of their feet on the mat. This could be a knee, hand, or even a finger touching the ground. Before this rule, fighters could deliver devastating knee strikes to the head of an opponent in this position, leading to concussions and other serious injuries. Number 1. Vaseline Gate controversy. At UFC 94, a controversy arose known as Vaseline Gate, involving fighter Georges St-Pierre. During the event, St-Pierre's cornerman was seen applying Vaseline to his face, which is standard for reducing friction and preventing cuts. However, the cornerman then touched St-Pierre's back and shoulders without cleaning his hands first. This action sparked concerns because Vaseline on the body can make a fighter slippery, making it difficult for the opponent to grip and perform submissions. The incident occurred after the first round and was noticed by officials who intervened. Despite this, BJ Penn, St-Pierre's opponent, raised objections after the match, claiming the Vaseline gave St-Pierre an unfair advantage. Did those rule changes truly make MMA safer? Or did they restrict the fighter's freedom? Rules are rules, and they have to be followed. The evolution of MMA continues. So, what's your take on this? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content.